Welcome to Week Gen Z.
Focused on young adults in the Northwest.
And their careers in a post-pandemic world.
Ever wonder how they go from the classroom into your chosen career?
We chat with local STAR employees to find out how they got where they are today.
And what they've learnt along the way.
Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to go around each of you individually and just ask you your name and a bit about your business. So Chris, do you want to go first?
My name's Chris Ferry. Very Clever is the name of the business, and it's just a disruptive business. It's just, they make people laugh, have a bit of crack, free greeting cards and prints and mugs and t-shirts and stuff like that. So that's the way I probably look at it. It's a disruptive business. It's to catch people's attention using swear words and everything and just not give up attitude.
My name's Danny. I do the opposite of him in a sense. I do all educational comics through Revolve Comics, like sort of medical, historical, mental health is sort of like the main sort of thing, focus on young kids in schools and stuff like.
Very nice.
My name's Jill Hindman and I'm doing a sustainable fashion brand based on Derry shirt making factory. So I focus on creative shirts and basics, all made from organic clothing.
I'm Emily and I'm from Low and Slow. We do American barbecue sauces, seasoning and street food.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so who and what inspired you to start your business, Chris?
It's more panic, to be honest. Panic maybe inspired me. My job before this was doing social media creativity for local businesses and stuff. Right. From mainly in Derry, but I had retainers in Galway, Belfast, Dublin and stuff. And then COVID happened, so I wasn't getting paid. So I went, you know what, I need to take that creativity and kind of work on my own.
Yeah.
Because before, I always enjoyed the creativity of making stuff for like the Chica Chica. I was doing all their stuff. Oh, and I always enjoyed it, but at the same time, when you finish doing a good project and you knew it was going to get engagement, you're like, that's not mine. Do you know what I mean? That's not mine. So then I got the COVID, and I always use an excuse. I don't have time to work on myself, but then COVID happened and I had the time. So I just went full throttle and started doing prints and stuff, and I didn't really enjoy the print side of it. And then I was watching an episode of Derry Girls. Michelle dropped a tray of shots and said "Sluncha," profanity buzzer, and I put that up as a card, and then that just kind of started selling really fast. And I went, maybe I'm on this on here with cards, because they're like impulse buys. People don't really take them that seriously, you know. And then I just kind of worked on it with the more rude cards sold the most, so I kind of went down that route.
Okay, very good. And what about you, Danny? Who inspired you?
Well, there's a couple of things. I started off sort of writing. That's what I sort of mainly do as a passion, and that sort of turned from boredom working in a bookies and I'm going to go and just give this a shot and just kind of started doing it. And as you say, it was sort of like, it was more like, oh, there's attention on me now. Right, let's run with this. I give up the day job.
Wow.
Run with and see how long it's going, and posting still.
Very good.
Stuff's class, man. Cheers. Class.
How about you?
I've always felt quite passionate about having my own brand and business. I think from doing internships too with local designers such as Dale McBride and seeing firsthand of her running her own business, really inspiring.
Very good, very good. And what about you?
So I've got a really weird journey to business. I used to be a youth worker and charity worker, so I never worked in food, never qualified as a chef or anything like that. My husband became really ill in 2015, I think it was, and we were homeless in Dublin and we kind of had nothing to do, came back up here where he's from and lost our house again. And food was always something that like we wanted to do. And so I kind of figured I've got to take care of him. We had 2 small kids and I need something with flexibility. So it's now or never. And that was kind of like our open window of like, we jump and we go for it, or we just survive, just exist, you know.
You had no choice.
Yeah, so like my inspiration was like we literally had no way out and we were clawing our way out of a hole type of feeling, which is like a great impetus. It's it's a really good inspiration. So it was sink or swim. So that's why we started it. Yeah.
And what kind of challenges did you face in the very beginning?
Oh gosh, everything. We all had PTSD because I thought I watched my husband die. He had a seizure in the middle of the night and developed adult epilepsy, like just super randomly. So I thought I was actually watching him choke to death in the middle of the night. So I had like severe PTSD. But aside from that, for any other entrepreneur, I think like starting out, I think that one of the biggest things is you just never feel like you're making it. You never really feel like you're there. And no matter, because we were super lucky. We had like a lot of success early on with our business and our sauces and street food. But even despite that, I was like, someone's gonna find out that I'm a fraud. Somebody's gonna figure out like I don't actually know what I'm doing here, you know, right? But like you're just always faking it, you know. And I think too, like I know we're the creative group that's in here. I think there's a part of it too, like where as a creative, you're kind of like, well, if I can get here, then I'm gonna feel like I'm legit. I got this. But like creativity doesn't work that way. Like the bar keeps moving. You're kind of like, well, I did this, and now I'm bored. So what else can I do? You know, it's like a form of ADHD in business, you know?
Yeah, it's like perfectionism.
So it's one of, I think for me, it was one of the biggest challenges of trying to continue going on, but it's also like, it's a good motivator.
Yeah. And Jill, what was your biggest challenge?
I definitely feel like I feel the same. I feel like a fraud. I've been sitting here. Like, are you sure you want me here? But I'm still very early
days
business too. I've obviously worked with designers. My past, I've worked quite a lot with bespoke. I've did a lot of one-on-one with like dairy people like Robin Diamonds who like drag acts.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to go more kind of like retail mass produced, and hopefully we'll see. Hopefully it works out.
Okay, very good. And how about you? What was your biggest challenge?
Enough time.
Oh, okay. You have a list?
Well, just in general, I'd say the main thing that you don't know the hurdle is when you start out is who's the people you need to know.
Yeah.
That's the hurdle you don't know until like years down the line.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, I should have been out talking to him. I mean, you're going to get chat. You know, it's all about going. Right, we have to go and get out.
So you were kind of thinking that you had to do it all on your own?
There's definitely an element, and the good thing I was starting out doing this stuff around the city of culture.
Okay. Oh, good timing.
So when that sort of was presenting opportunities, that's when I sort of started to learn early. It's like, you don't want to make money, you want to make friends.
Right. Okay. That's a good piece of advice.
That's and then the many sort of hurdles thereafter. But I don't. Everybody's got their own hurdles, their personal ones, and what you mentioned there is that your personal situation wasn't a part of your entrepreneurial. It completely is.
Yeah, it affected it.
No, again, it's the core. Yeah. If you're not happy doing it, if you're not feeling it, you have to.
Big time.
Like one of the best pieces of advice you probably could give is just be willing to fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I bet you've done things at the start.
No, 100%.
Oh yeah.
And you just adapt and.
I think to be successful, you have to go through failure.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was pushing myself as a DJ for years, and I really, really pushed it. And I got the DJ with Snoop Dogg and Jazzy Jeff and Grandmaster Flash, and I thought I was going to be this big DJ, and it just, boom, had to take. No, it's not happening. So, but that there for me, because I put so much hard work into it, with like the creative side as well, and it didn't work. It really did influence me to go, let's just work on something that's going to work. It's something will come along. You know, because it was still in the creative field, so I didn't feel like I actually fully, you know, I'm not dead and buried because there's so much different elements to creativity. So I just went a different route then. Still DJ like, but I just do it in Sandino's, just nothing big in any big arenas or nothing like that.
And did any of you have very significant mistakes in the beginning, or did you play it safe?
Can't say significant mistakes. They're all mistakes, really. Like, you know, and you're just trying to find the one that's not. You know, you're searching through, you know, haystack looking for that needle, just really. But everything's a mistake. Like you, and that's the only way you learn. Like putting up. Like recently enough, I sort of went right. I'm not promoting to the, you know, the public or anything. So all the time I was doing social media for years. Kind of pointless. That was a huge mistake.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, so it was more for like sort of ego and profile, you know, in your head, like, but it wasn't actually translated. Like, all the
so you need to focus on what you need for your business. You don't necessarily need to focus on.
Exactly. I think a lot of people think social media is very important. Not everybody. Yeah. You know, and a lot of people who would be sort of involved in seeing my work would be kids, and they're not overly involved. Yeah. So it was kind of just make mistakes, and if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. You know, 100%.
And how about you? Have you made any mistakes yet?
I think just constant mistakes, but it's always learning from them. hopefully not too much like costly mistakes. Fashion can be quite costly. But yeah, I think you have to make mistakes to learn. So, do you know, if you're not making mistakes, you're not doing something right. That's how you learn.
And how about you?
Nothing significant. Like we haven't like burned anything down or poisoned people, which is great. But I think early on, because of the reason why we started our business, I say we, it was me and my husband, you know, helping cheering me on. Like, but I think early on I adopted the mindset of it's a business, not a baby. It's not my child. It's not a pet. Like we're gonna hold really loosely to this. So if things work out, they work out, and if they don't, they don't. And the other thing, I had 2 criteria for judging an opportunity coming to me. If it's not physically impossible and if it's not morally impossible, like what the hell, let's try. You know, like let's just go for it, you know? And if we fail, then we fail. And it's an opportunity to learn. And if we succeed, then it's an area of growth. And so for me, like that was kind of my like maybe it's a bit reckless. I don't really know.
Well, I think either way it's beneficial.
Yeah. And I think too, like during COVID and stuff, like COVID was really good for us in some ways because it made me realize there were a couple business relationships that I had that I realized weren't working. So I just quit. And I didn't see that as like, man, what a failure. I didn't judge that right, or I should have spoken up or anything. I just kind of realized it's now or never. So before I go into debt with this relationship, let's just quit, you know? So I think it depends on how you view failure and how you view going forward in business. If you're gonna view it as like it's sink or swim and I've gotta always make sure that making the right step here and the perfect step, then like set yourself up for some brick walls. But if you kind of view it as, let's see what happens, let's take it a step at a time, then it's always an opportunity to learn and grow. And it's fun. I think that helps keeping it like lighter and funner. I don't know, what do you guys, like, is that?
No, well, there is mistakes to be made, but I look at it as, I don't look at it as the word mistake. I look at it as an opportunity to be better. You know, there's so many great stories, like Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, random example, but he joined Man United. He was skinny, he was a good footballer, but every time he came up as a defender, he was hitting the ground. But instead of going to Ibiza, partying, getting chicks, and when the season ended, he went to a gym and built himself up and became the best footballer in the world. You know, he's the best footballer in England, Spain, Italy, and that wasn't a mistake of his. It was just something he didn't have, and he had to work on it. And that's the way I look at a mistake. For example, with my business, I'm creative. I believe to myself to be creative, obviously. But now we're now in 15 shops, and at the start I was emailing the shops, and I'm not professional. I'm not. You know, and then they were
It's a crack, hey?
what's happening, Walker? You know, fancy selling me cards? You know, that's not me. They're probably reading it going, who the hell is this boy? But I didn't see it as a mistake. I went, you know what, I need to learn from that. I need to hire somebody who's got a professional business head on. So now I've got somebody working on that end who gets in touch with, builds relationships with like Spar and Centras and stuff, and that's taken care of. It was a mistake I made, but it's something I learned from, and now it's benefited me, you know.
Very good. So is Ronaldo your business role model, would you say?
Cristiano Ronaldo was my favourite person in the world. I had a season ticket at 2 years for United, and there was like a Wayne at a One Direction concert when I seen him coming on the pitch. But Cristiano Ronaldo is a good example. I must do a card of him actually, now that you say it.
There you go.
Always about that.
Couldn't get you Cristiano Ronaldo, would have got you his card instead and have my big 6-pack just. I'll keep it for myself just.
And how about you? Do you have any business role models?
Bluntly, no. Take bits and pieces from everything. You know, sort of like I can't hold up one person and be like, oh. You know, like if I was to do that, I would say more local because I would know them better. Like, you know, like we were just talking about Mark from iPrint and all, starting out back. What a guy, just there to go. How can I help you? Yeah. And that's not what he's there for. He's there to print your stuff. Like, but and it's guys like that who are just wanting to help community that are probably the more sort of heroic.
You would take that as inspiration?
Yeah, like you can talk about Elon Musk and stuff like that there all day, like, but that's a different league. Like, you know, I would actually even say Superman if I had to throw in something.
And Jill, do you have any inspiration from the fashion world or even outside of fashion?
I think like all the Derry local designers are amazing. People like Adele McBride again, Bridie Mullen, everyone in the fashion hub's amazing, and it's so fantastic to kind of be in amongst them and kind of learn from them.
Yeah, because you're working with them, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm steadying on people asking questions and advice. So, but it's such a lovely community. So I have great respect for everybody in there.
All those
Such a
you guys.
culture here for like, you know, the sheer factories.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
You know, they're so.
I love history.
There you go. You know, you're gonna have to do a big historical dress or something.
I actually did the Miss South dress for Northern Ireland 2017, so that I've actually already did that. So I'm very helpful, inspired in knitwear and linen and.
You've won a few awards as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well I won that. Now that you've asked, my hair's went blank. So.
Well, rumour has it anyway. And do you have any role models for your business?
I mean, kind of the same as the other guys, like not really, because like, I mean, you can kind of look at other people and you're like, wow, look at what they've done with their millions and their platform, you know? And it's kind of like, well, yeah, that's great. Yeah. I mean, yeah, kind of, right? A little bit, but like, yeah, local, again, it's the same kind of thing locally, because I think each of our businesses, like, yes, we'd like to go farther and bigger and maybe into other markets and stuff like that, but each of our businesses is locked into this culture, into this city. And so like looking locally and seeing kind of what other people are doing and how they're pushing boundaries and breaking rules, not laws. And I, like it's looking at that, I think, and kind of drawing inspiration from each other, and I like that.
And Emily, what's the best thing about working for yourself?
Man, it's fun. I don't like being micromanaged, and I'm a creative person as well, and so it's also really bad because I need help. I get so distracted, and I think like, oh wow, this is fun. Let's go and do this, and I'm totally off topic. Okay. But I think one of the best things is like there's just freedom to kind of design your future, to actually be able to sit there and think like, this is something that I would love to do. I can use my feet and make it happen. Like that's a really great opportunity. And I know not everybody has that. Not everybody has that support and stuff. And I've got to say, like, and this isn't paid or anything like that, but I honestly believe that our council is the best council in Northern Ireland to start a business. They're so supportive. They're there for you. Like, there's just so much out there. And so like, if you have a bit of an idea and you've got a council behind you that are there to support you,
well, that's really nice to hear.
It's possible, yeah. So I like that. I think
that's good.
fun.
You've had that experience.
Yeah, and then again for my family, like it was the right decision for us. And I'd never thought about myself as an entrepreneur. I don't know about you guys, but it was only then once I was working for myself, I was like, I get it. This is what everybody talks about. I get it, you know.
So
and I thought,
you go and do things like this. You're told you're an entrepreneur. I'll go along with that then.
And Jill, what about you? What's your favourite thing about being self-employed?
I suppose it's just having the creative freedom to kind of do what I want and not having boundaries and restrictions. So everything kind of comes down to me. Also, it's like kind of becoming really aware of my customer and kind of creating like what that is for me. Yeah.
And how did you first get involved? Like, wasn't your first job, I'm going to assume, or how did you get into the business in the first place?
Where initially was actually when I was at the college. I reached out to Dale McBride and started working alongside her. Then I went to university. I went to Bath Spa. I graduated there 2 years ago. From after moving home, I got into the fashion hub, and it's something that, like, even if I was just sitting in my bedroom at home, I would constantly be doing it. I've been drawing fashion sketches since I was 10, so it's just something that's very in my blood to do. So even if it wasn't a career, it would definitely still be a hobby. I'd still be doing it.
And how would you guys, how would you suggest that people kind of transfer their academic side into and change it into employability? Because I feel like in school we're not really taught about that. You know, we get our grades and then.
Through academia, I started engineering and doing comics.
Yeah. You didn't really use school at all then?
It's similar to what Jill says there. You know, it's if you're really passionate about it and it's your hobby. I know obviously the fundamental of life is getting educated in school and stuff, but if you're passionate about something and you're interested in something, like in 5th year at school, I was always interested in art, not necessarily art at GCSE or at A level. It was just like seeing comics, seeing graphic design, seeing billboards. It was always something I would love to get involved with, but also at the same time I was in love with music, big music fan. And I was just passionate about either things. And see, tomorrow, if Very Clever stopped, I'd still be sitting drawing on my graphics pad. It's not going to stop me. It's something I love doing. So it's similar to what you're saying. It's not really like a job. It's just something you love doing.
And what would you say to young people who want to make their passions their job, you know, their career? Because I feel like there's a fine line between it and a lot of people don't know how to get across.
This might sound harsh. If I had to tell somebody to go and mix a hung for themselves, maybe they're not supposed to.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's like passion, failure, we're all experiencing it, but we're all handling it to get through it.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Okay.
But that's basically what happened to me, because I was too busy doing all this stuff for all our businesses, and everybody kept saying to me, friends of mine, you should be doing this yourself. You should be doing this yourself. I was like, nah, too afraid to take the risk, too afraid of failure again. but and then I just went, you know what, COVID, why not? Let's give it a go, and it worked out well. So it's you know, it's kind of cliche, but if you don't take the risk, you'll never know. Yeah. You know.
I don't know if you would know, but I've kind of got a question. COVID happened, lockdown.
Grab a mic, get the mic. We should.
COVID happened, and everybody started to try their hobbies for
100%.
Right?
Did that kill the community though? Is that like diluted the amount of people that can jump
I
in?
think it just basically influenced people away because everybody had the time, you know, and people were
But
just.
the people who are already existing in that space.
No,
I know what you mean.
I don't think so.
I know what you mean. Is it? I don't necessarily think so, because I think all the people who did existed are big operators. You know, like big jewelers and stuff, and they're always going to be there. They're always funded. Their franchises all over the world, Subway, McDonald's, they're always going to be there. I love seeing like Low and Slow, for example. Over the COVID period, I seen you advertising Sandino's, and I heard so many good things, and I was like, this is brilliant. I'm hearing all this about local businesses instead of seeing McDonald's. Instead of seeing McDonald's, so I went straight up to Sandino's. Beautiful, by the way.
From my own point of view, and like the comic and storytelling, there's all that there. I'm the only person kind of in that realm, so I don't know how that affected.
I totally think business begets business. Like I've had a friend who did kind of like it was a business. He legitimately set up a business and it turned into a social experiment down in Dublin, and they set up a cafe in like a real rough area, and it was where they lived, so they set up a cafe, and now it's like super thriving. There's cafes up and down the square where they are, and it's amazing. And it's not like, if we keep this mentality, like, and I think it's for anybody going to any business, whether you're working for somebody or you've got your own thing, if you keep this mentality that there's one pot of money and if I get there first, I get the lion's share, it's totally not true. I think business begets business, partnerships work, and it's the thing that I like about Dairy. It's the reason why I'm happy that I'm here, is because people want to work together. You know, like it's
more collaboration over competition, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a guy who came from Belfast at the Halloween festival. And like he was having problems with his fryer and his tire went out and stuff. And like literally all of the other vendors were like, well, how can we help? What can we do? And he was like, you would not get this in Belfast, you know? People are like, look, he's out. Come on, you know, customers. And I was like, well, this is, you know, this is the heart of the city, you know? So business begets business for sure. And I would say the more people that start doing graphic arts and graphic novels and comics and stuff like that, the more popular and more exposure that you would get. Yeah, it both I think opens up the public palette for that kind of stuff, but then as well, then it just encourages more people to kind of step out and do the things they've always wanted to do. I think it's great. Yeah.
And Emma, is your business how you first imagined it to be?
No. Like, I've got to be totally honest. I'm super lucky. I'm really, really lucky. We didn't mean to be doing as well as we are doing, and it's not down to any business expertise. I think I went to 3 universities and dropped out of all of them. So I don't have a degree. I haven't done anything, and I know this is school, so stay in school. But I didn't know what I wanted, you know, and I was learning, and so for me, we've been super lucky, and we've just happened to be at the right place at the right time, with the right drive and the right attitude. So no, not at all. We had a business plan, and we should still only just be doing our sauces right now, but we've kind of been like leapfrogging through it, which has been fun. But I think it comes back down to as well that attitude of an opportunity comes our way. Is it physically or morally impossible? Let's try it, and if we fail, we fail, and we'll go back to what we're doing, and if not, then we grow.
Yeah, that's about the creative spirit. Like once you've done something, like, right, I want to do something else too.
I'm also a thrill seeker. So if there's not like chance of death in something, like I'm like, let's go jump out of a plane, let's go whitewater rafting, like I got a thrill, you know. So in business, without any of that death stuff, it's good, yeah. It's good
Everything's a
motivator.
roll of the dice.
Yeah, it is. It's so fun though. Yeah, and you meet great people.
And Jill, what would you look for in someone if you were to hire someone else to work for you?
I think just passion is the most important. Someone that kind of like shares your passion, your vision. It's something that like, you know, you can't buy that. It can't be faked. So I think that's definitely the most important in building that relationship and kind of growing this. You said not to call it a baby, but grow this like together, and it has the best intentions and
And what about you guys? What would you look for in a person if you were going to employ someone else to work for you?
Well, there's no denying passion, like, but thereafter integrity. Like, it's so easy for to get an email from somebody like, here, can I do this? And you email it back, and it's like 2 days, 3 days, and you're just going, I don't care, you know. So just having that sort of integrity to stay, you know, get back to somebody if like, no, it's the small things really. Like, there's nothing bigger. You know, it's like just replying to emails, saying hello if you see them, say, oh, how's it going? Oh, sure, we'll get it. You know, it's them wee things that do the most.
The personable kind of side of it.
Yeah, it's like like in my, you're talking about academia and stuff now. In art and creativity and all, there's only so much academia that's useful. Yeah. Because like if you can't draw at the end of the day and you've got a degree in art, doesn't matter. I mean, like, so the passion is going to get you to there, but your integrity is going to get you going. Plus, showing integrity from my aspect too is a way to keep like, you know, your clients coming back. I don't even really hunt for sales really. Most of my sales are people coming back. And I bet you will find the same. You know, once you've got somebody who loves your barbecue sauce, what else you got? You know?
And Chris, what piece of advice would you give to yourself or to younger people for the very start of starting your business?
Don't bother.
Patience, to be honest, because in this digital world that we're on now, you have to have patience. Like if you're coming up with any product, I'll just use cards for example. If you're coming up with a card company or whatever, you know, there's so with not even just cards, everything. It's just there's so much different elements of creativity of getting yourself out there that you're going to have to go through, and you can't keep doing the same thing. So if you keep putting up a product picture, people are just going to. That's just boring. You have to be disruptive, you have to have patience, and you have to have a plan out of how you're going to get to where you're going to get, and there's never going to be an end for me. It's just keep going, and I want to push this right into the UK, hopefully. I know I don't want to be talking dung, like, but I just want to get as much as Very Clever out there as I can, and there's just so many different elements of collaboration, as we mentioned, you know, sending out packs to influencers, all that crap you have to do. You just have to do it, you know. Just have patience and you'll eventually get there, but with a plan. You have to have a plan. You just can't do it and hope for the best. And what things do you think could be better about having a business locally?
I think you just answered that. It's like business begets
you
business.
Think,
that is true. It's like coming up from the sort of Southern culture time, you see now, like, and then yes, they all faded away, but that was a wave of successful ones that's sticking about. And so
you've no complaints about the local business then?
All the time. You know, like if you're not complaining, you're not noticing problems, ergo not trying to formulate solutions. Like you climb the council's amazing, like I'll climb the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I'll introduce you to Laverne. She's fabulous.
Oh, I know Laverne. And the visuals are great. It's the system. It's a wee bit bureaucratic and boring, and you sitting and going, oh, I have to follow this. No, I'm not bothered.
There's red tape.
It's kind of it's.
You want to get a bouncer? And she's going to start scrapping.
Let's move on.
No, but you know what? You know, credit where credit's due. Like they do deliver when they deliver, but hey, everything can be better all the time.
Absolutely, that's true.
Thank you so much, Chris, Danny, Jill, and Emily. It was really nice speaking to you all, and I hope that people watching can really take some of your advice because you seem to all be doing very well. So well done.
Thank you
Very much.